Technically,
A
yes.
lot. Yes, it's still going on, but it is over. We want to be the first to congratulate the Philadelphia Eagles on their second Super Bowl. Completely demolished the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are trying to put up some more points so it can look respectable, but they have been crushed. My camera already freezing.
Yeah, and also want to point out. Well, I mean, maybe we'll wait till a few more people get in here to point this out because it's pertinent for Ravens fans. But no, absolutely, congrats to Philly. They completely dominated the game. You know, they are the most talented team in the league. I did not.
Hmm.
I mean, I picked Kansas City to win, but there's no way I thought that the game would be a blowout either way.
No way.
But
No way.
Kansas City's offense could not get anything at all going, which is
Yeah.
pretty shocking.
Um. You know, watching Philly, throughout the year and watching them in the playoffs, I mean, they built the defense really well.
Hmm.
And I think this is probably what you're going to allude to with the Ravens, how, the Philly defense plays how the Ravens talk about playing defense, right? They actually have the talent that the Ravens pretend to have, right? It's not a shot to any of those players, it's a shot at the front office. This is what it looks like when you actually put together a running team and an actual defense that can do the things you want them to do. You know, they spent the money, they drafted well, and they got pressure on Mahomes
Somebody
without
somebody
the
did.
well, hold on. Yeah, but they got pressure on Mahomes without the blitzing. You know, like that's I mean, it's just a dominant D line. You know, what are you reading?
Uh, this is House who did in fact say that the Eagles were going to win by double digits. And I put up the message last week. I told her, we'll see you back here next week when it doesn't happen, or in 2 weeks when it doesn't happen. But it did. I
It
mean,
did.
it's still double digits, but it's really more than double digits. I mean, you can't get to triple digits in football, but if you could, this is what it would look like. So
Yes, who we got in here? Said Vincent says that could have been us, man. It
could it?
could have been us again. um,
I don't think the
no,
Eagles would have beaten Baltimore like this, but the
no.
Ravens wouldn't have beaten the Chiefs because your pass rushers don't terrorize quarterbacks like they're supposed to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Throwing off the timing. This is the same way they lost when they lost to the Bucks,
Yes,
right?
Tampa, and they've got Joe Thuney playing left tackle. They shuffle some people around, but I mean they just got beat down.
So Hurts got a ring before Lamar. That's crazy work. That's not look. He has a better support system, better coach, better GM, right? Just a better team around him. Like that's what you need.
Yeah,
And I mean,
mhm.
no, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was saying like you alluded to earlier about congrats to Philly on their second Super Bowl. Do want to point out that it's their second Super Bowl after firing one of the greatest coaches of all time. For all of you, who could they possibly hire if they got rid of Harbaugh? It's their second Super Bowl with their second different coach.
Yes, and this is his second appearance in the Super Bowl. They lost to the Chiefs the first time, and they're getting their revenge tonight in this game.
Yeah.
So yes, you can move on. You can move on from a good coach. I mean, we're not even talking about a great coach. I mean, people are gonna say Harbaugh's great. I don't think he's great, but you can move on even from a great coach and still put together a Super Bowl caliber team. You can't be stuck in the past just because you got a Super Bowl 12 years ago. You got to know when to move on.
Oh no! It's more than 12 now.
Yeah,
Right?
they didn't even wait. They didn't wait what 3 years till they got rid of Doug Peterson after he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And got rid of their franchise quarterback as well. Moved on from him
That's right.
and won another
Quick.
Super Bowl a few years later. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you have to know. Hey, salute to Jared Green. Salute, fellas. Thanks for
What's
coming
up,
through.
Jared?
Noah's in the house. As B, let us hear you give Hurts the credit he deserves. Hey, look, you guys know I'm a Jalen Hurts supporter. You know, B not so much. He had a good game.
Like I said, he's a 8 to 12 quarterback in the league, and he played fine today. Like he wasn't spectacular, and he didn't need to be. because they're the
You
most
know,
talented team in the league. They have the best, or well, one of, not necessarily the best, but one of the best O lines in the league, the best running back in the league, one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league, one of the best defenses in the league. He didn't need to be spectacular, and that's fine. That's
I
great
think
for him.
you and I argue semantics a lot on here because we think the same of Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah,
Like I
I
think
just
yeah,
think
he's a
it's
top
funny to
10
call him a
quarterback,
fraud.
but
That's all.
yeah. Like I don't think he's a fraud. Like I don't think he's I don't think anybody looked at him, anything more than that. But yeah, I mean he's a good quarterback. And yes, he doesn't need to carry the load on here because we're working on a video. You guys are gonna get our reaction to Lamar getting snubbed from the MVP voting, but we talked about in that video how if Lamar throws a touchdown, I think there's only one game where Lamar threw not touchdown, interception. If Lamar throws an interception in a game, chances are we're going to lose the game because team ain't that good, right?
Yeah.
The team can't recover if Lamar doesn't play perfect. Jalen Hurts threw an interception early in the game. It didn't matter. They're blowing this team out because they don't need Jalen Hurts to be perfect. They don't need him to be great or really good. They just need him to be competent, and they'll take care of the rest.
And I'm going to bring up Felipe's comment here because it's true and it is hilarious. He says after this Super Bowl, all Ravens fans will want defense. And I've already seen people on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter saying, "Oh, we got to go get pass rushers, got to go get pass rushers, got to go get pass rushers." You didn't, but they don't notice the other side of the ball where no one's getting close to Jalen Hurts, and he has all day to throw to his great wide receivers. You know,
Yeah, because Kansas City has good defense too.
yeah, they have that was an All-Pro corner that AJ Brown was going against all day today. All-Pro
Mm-hmm.
corner. You know, like yes, you want your pass rushers to be able to get to the quarterback without blitzing, but it's more important that you protect your quarterback so that those guys can't get to him.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the narrative of this game. Oh, defense, defense. Yeah, O line too. Do we want to build the O line? Yeah, we definitely do. We got a super chat from Dapper Dons. Salute to Dapper Dons, man. Appreciate you. He says,
Thank you.
DEI Chiefs getting spanked. You see, Ravens, you build around your generational QB. Jose, I'm sad we have an incompetent organization wasting Lamar Jackson's prime. Hey, salute, man. That's facts right there. That's facts. All right. I appreciate the super chat. Hey, be
Yes,
awesome
thank you
like
very
Dapper
much.
Dons. Hit that super chat or hit that pin link so you can see Microphone Man dance on the screen. All right. I set a goal. All right. We need 10 super chats. And I think within like 45 minutes or something like that. I can't remember what I said it to. I said it to random. I said random goals. All right. Just if we hit it, cool. If not, that's cool as well. All right. We
But
appreciate every
yeah,
donation.
but again, like I said, the Chiefs were playing Joe Thuney at left tackle tonight. Right, he's a guard. He played left tackle a little bit in college, but he's not a left tackle. Now, if you watch this game and your takeaway was, man, we better go get Myles Garrett instead of, man, we had better re-sign Ronnie Stanley. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, guys, I'm waiting for the offseason, and I'm just waiting to see if we sign Ryan Stanley. If we don't re-sign Ryan Stanley, he goes elsewhere. Don't even worry about it. You don't need to worry. You don't need to stress or anything like that. We're not winning anything.
You got
Okay.
with the gladiator speech. If you find yourself in a warm field with the sun on your face, don't be troubled. You're already dead.
Yeah. If you look over, you see Ryan Stanley's not on the roster. Don't worry. This team is already dead. We're not winning. So that's number one priority.
Felipe, what do we think about the Allen MVP? We've got a video coming out about the Josh Allen MVP pretty soon over the next couple of days or so. So keep an eye out for that.
Probably Tuesday.
I'll give you a preview. He shouldn't have won MVP. All right, we said that multiple times, but there it is. And that's not Josh Allen's fault. Josh Allen's a phenomenal player. He had an incredible season, but he shouldn't have won MVP.
Yeah. What do we think of Derrick Henry wanting to retire as a Raven? Well, I mean, he's 31. He's not playing that much longer. I don't think he wants to move around anymore. He's on a team that should be competing for a Super Bowl. That's
I don't really think
obvious.
anything of it. I bet you if you asked him last year, he wanted to retire a Titan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's whatever. And I hope he does retire a Raven. It was a great fit, and he had a great season. I'm sure he loves playing with Lamar and everything, but players say that all the
Hey,
time.
what's up, Ray Kingdom? Ray Kingdom, I hate to break this to you. Ray Kingdom says now some people can stop saying Mahomes is the GOAT if he three-peats. It's over. It ain't over. It is not over. This game is over for sure.
Yeah.
You think this is the last Super Bowl Mahomes is going to be in? We said this last year, by the way. We said this last year after they won. I said, do you think this is going to be the last Super Bowl that Pat Mahomes plays in? No. I'm going to ask y'all again right now. Do you think this is the last Super Bowl that Pat Mahomes is going to play in?
No.
Hell no.
They're gonna go. They're gonna go back in the lab in the offseason, and guess what? They're gonna work harder than the Baltimore Ravens front office and the Buffalo Bills front office, who haven't been to a Super Bowl. They're gonna work harder than both of them to figure out how to get back and erase this stain on their legacy.
Yeah.
Because all they are about is winning Super Bowls.
So I mean, this is Ravens can learn from this. I mean, look, this is a shout out to the Eagles. I don't want to make this too much like about the Ravens, but shout out to the Eagles and congratulations to the Chiefs. They made it to 3 straight. Is it 3 or 4 straight Super Bowls? I can't remember. I think it's 4 straight
This
Super
is
Bowls.
this is their third straight, I believe.
Third straight Super Bowl.
I can't remember now, but I think it's their third.
That's
straight.
right. Yeah. Because the Bengals went to one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So third straight Super Bowl. How many have they been to? 5?
They've been to
They
5
had 3
Super Bowls,
wins.
yeah. They're 3-2 in Super Bowls now.
I can't keep up with it, man. Congratulations to both teams. All right. And these are 2 teams that are going to be the Eagles are going to be in the mix right again next year. Okay. This is what the Ravens have to contend with if they want to be serious about winning and getting there. Okay. So we're gonna spend a whole offseason talking about what the Ravens need to do, but these are the 2 teams that are stacked with talent, and they're both going to go back to the lab after this and keep stacking. Saquon Barkley is in his prime right now. He's not even close to being washed. All right. He could be the offensive player of the year again. He could be an MVP candidate again next year. That O-line is great. Defensive line, great. Like they are primed to be back here next year. So, the NFC's on notice. Now it'd be interesting to see what they if they have to come across a healthy Lions team in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But the way their defense is playing, I don't even think the Lions could do anything with that.
Oh, I think they could. They have an O-line that would not allow Josh Sweat to be the Super Bowl MVP. Essentially, so they wouldn't be able to do this to them. Like they did it to Kansas City because their O-line is it's not great right now. But they would not be doing this to Buffalo or to Detroit. I'm sorry.
Now, if the Ravens are foolish enough to let Ryan Stanley hit free agency, I can see him in Kansas City. That's the type of move that Kansas City does, right? We need help at O-line. The best tackle that's on the market is Ryan Stanley. Let's sign Ryan Stanley. Right? Give him whatever he wants. Like, we have to keep Ryan Stanley.
What's going on, Shaheen?
Shaheen,
I guess
up?
Defense does win championships. That's right. That's why Justin Herbert and the Chargers are holding up that Lombardi tonight. The number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. Oh, they're not? They didn't get out of the first round? Oh, weird.
Look, I mean, defense got 1 defensive touchdown, but the other 33 points scored, that was offense.
And that was on the number 4 defense in the league. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, this is talent wins championships, Shaheen. Talent wins championships. You having a great defense, that's great. You gotta have a great offense too, and the Eagles have a great offense.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on, AD? AD's in the house. Says that's what we're saying. It takes an entire team to win a championship. That's what these 2 teams are showing everybody right now, right? You can't just be, heavy on one side and not the other side, right? You can't just you can't just go cheap and hey, we're gonna grit it out and win it that way. Nah, man, you have to get talent. Talent wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're showing you right now. Play smart football, wins championships. Yeah, that too.
Well,
That too.
and if you want to boil it down to one thing, that with championships, and I mean, there are a lot of different ways you can do it, right? But the best way, the easiest way, the most sustainable way is to build your O line and your D line. To win the battle at the line of scrimmage consistently, you're going to win a ton of games. Which is why I don't like the way that the Baltimore Ravens build their team, because they
I
don't
mean,
build the O line at all, really. They've done a poor job of it. I won't say they haven't done it at all. They've done a poor job of it, and they've done arguably a worse job on the D line. I mean, like
yeah, no,
because you're
they haven't. Yeah,
relying on vets from outside every offseason to come in and be your edge rushers. The guys that you draft aren't really panning out. Like, you can't expect Kyle Van Noy to come back and get another 12 sacks.
no, they haven't done a good job. This is why I criticize EDC so much here. He hasn't done a great job. He's got all the picks in the world, and this is a combination of Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh. This is why both of them need to go, because they don't particularly draft well and they don't develop well. All these draft picks, what are you going to do with them? Yes, you can't just buy a team, necessarily. You can't spend all your money to fill every spot. You got to be able to draft some of those guys. But we draft guys and they're not good enough, right? Teams like the Eagles, teams like the Chiefs, they can do a combination of both things, develop guys, and they're stacked. At some point, we got to stop saying next year. At some point, we got to say give them time to develop. They need to be able to perform,
This
right?
isn't true, House. He says you haven't added a player on the D line since Tavius Robinson. I mean, unless you're not counting edge rushers, because you added Adisa Isaac in the third round this year. So
How many people do we need to add? We just re-signed BK, drafted Tavius Robinson, drafted Travis Jones, right?
have Broderick
Like
Washington still stealing that
signed
money.
yeah, he signed Broderick Washington. Why sign those guys if you have to keep adding guys? Those are
And like I
supposed
said,
to be the guys.
unless and if you're not counting, and that's only if you're not counting edge rushers, because they did add an edge rusher this year. So, you know,
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean, poor job. This is called what it is. Poor job. I didn't see them do anything in the Bills game. I didn't see that was our criticism of the defense. As talented as they're supposed to be, Roquan being a first team All Pro, Marlowe first team All Pro, deservingly so. By the way, like he played great. We got the talent, but what did they do when we needed them to step up? This defense, what you guys saw tonight from Philly, they were doing it the whole playoffs. Like they were doing it the entire playoffs. They showed up and they showed up on the big stage, the biggest game of their season, right? When are the Ravens going to do that? I don't even put that all on the players. I put that on coaching, right? This organization, like what you see right here, you see Andy Reid, who used to be an Eagle, used to always get his team to the NFC Championship. He lived in the NFC Championship. Couldn't get over the hump. He made it to one Super Bowl and couldn't win it. They fired him. They said, hey, you've done a great job. You always have us, in the game, but we just can't get over the hump. We got to go in a different direction. He goes to the Kansas City Chiefs and wins 3 Super Bowls, right? He's been to 5 Super Bowls with the Chiefs, and this ain't the last Super Bowl he's going to be in. Meanwhile, that same organization went and got another coach, Doug Peterson. I mean, well, they had their failed attempts with Chip Kelly and I think somebody else, right? But Doug Peterson came in there, won them a Super Bowl. Then a couple years after that, Doug Peterson ain't working out anymore. Let's get Sirianni. Get to the Super Bowl, and they play against Andy Reid and the Chiefs. Lose that game. 2 years later, they're back, and they're winning their second Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid.
Chiefs scored again, by the way.
Yep.
Xavier
Worthy's pretty fast.
He's pretty fast.
Yeah.
He's very fast. We got a super chat here from Jay. You pull that up. Thank you very much, Jay. He says, how many Georgia players will Howie draft in this upcoming class? Potentially adding Jalen Walker and Mikael Williams to replace Josh Sweat and or Bond would be a Howie thing to do. Again, thank you very much for the super chat. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, look, they love drafting those Georgia players, but more than that, they just love drafting good players. So we'll see who they end up with. Those guys' names, where they're going to go in the draft, is nowhere near set at this point. You know, you see Jalen Walker's name anywhere from top 10 to the second round. So, we'll see.
And we got another super chat. Oh, go ahead, bring it up. And we got from Press Star 410. Appreciate you, AD. Says, I want a 2025 Chiefs Super Bowl champ t-shirt. Yeah. Ollie says Chiefs been skating by all season. They haven't been skating by. They've been winning.
Yeah. They went 15-2, man. Like, they played close games, but you can't call 15-2 skating by.
Yeah, nobody's been able to beat them. Just they had their worst game. I mean, look, this game was a blowout, but if we're being honest, they just made a lot of mistakes that they don't usually make. They made them early in the game, and the game got out of hand. All right, they played this game over, it'd be closer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it is when you're playing another great team. The Eagles didn't luck their way into this game. They dominated. They dominated. They belong there. So when you're playing a legit team, you can't have a bad day. You got to bring your A game. They brought their A game. Deshaun says the people on our defensive line, they have 1 year and a 2-year deal. Michael Pierce, Brent Urban is on the last year next year, and so you're going to have to address that D line. No, you don't. You don't have to address the D line. Why? What did you draft for? Michael Pierce, Brent Urban. These aren't guys. These aren't supposed to be main pieces of your defensive line. You drafted Travis Jones. You drafted Tavius Robinson. You re-signed Matabike and what's the other one's name? What's the other D-line's name?
What are you talking about?
Not Matabike, the other one that they signed. Broderick Washington. Right. You have your guys. Michael Pierce and Brent Urban, those are rotational guys. So addressing the D line, you can address the D line. I mean, that's not a top priority. That's not a top priority. They've already put all the effort into the defense, and it didn't work because you wanted to go with Zach Orr, who wasn't ready to be a defensive coordinator, you decided you still want to keep John Harbaugh on the team, so that's just not working out in general. You have to put more talent around Lamar if you're expecting Lamar to carry this team. And Jalen Hurts just took a knee. It's officially over. 40-22 is the final score. This game was so much worse than that.
who you got for Super Bowl MVP?
Jalen Hurts.
See, I don't think I know he's going to win it.
I'm not saying. That's why I think he's going to win. Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Super Bowl MVP. Probably Josh Sweat. I would say.
I think I would go with Sweat as well. But Jalen Hurts is going to win it. And that's fine. Aopon says it's two nice receivers under 5'10". Guess we know who Harbaugh and EDC looking at again. Shaking my head. Y'all gotta stop with this height thing. You drafted a 6'4" receiver. How'd that work out? You don't remember Miles Boykin, 3rd round, speedster, super tall. Y'all didn't love that, but he was tall though.
What do you guys think? I mean, first of all, what's a big body wide receiver for you? Because I hear that a lot. What's a big body wide receiver mean to you? What size do they need to be for you to say, hey, that's a good size wide receiver to go after?
It's been a very, very long time since you could say a running quarterback can't win the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts didn't. He didn't break any glass ceilings here. Steve Young won Super Bowls a very long time ago.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You guys just don't realize it because they don't market Steve Young that way because he's white. But Steve Young was that type of quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, look, like I said, it's not about the style. Like they want every quarter. The league wants those type of quarterbacks now. You can't be just a statue in the pocket anymore. It's not that type of league. You gotta have some sort of athleticism. You gotta have a baseline of athleticism in today's NFL. You can't be Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in today's NFL.
Yeah. I mean, Patrick Mahomes can move a little bit, right? Like he's got a little bit of mobility to him, and you saw how terrorized he was in the pocket.
Yeah. He can move. He just looks he looks stiff because he keeps his back straight and his shoulders square.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he can move. Yeah. He can move. That's what kind of fools people a lot of times when he's scrambling. They don't think he's that fast. He can move. Like the DK Metcalf is what Ravens fans want, but he's not going anywhere. Yeah, DK Metcalf, sure. I love DK Metcalf, right? But he's just a good player. Right? He's just a good player. Just being 6'2", 6'3" alone that's not good enough. Like, stop looking at size and look at talent. I need guys that can play, that can catch the ball.
And here's the thing, Deshaun. He's saying they need, and they like to do a lot of rotation. Who's going to back him up? He's always injured. Deshaun, who's going to be your right guard? Is it more important to you who the backup to Travis Jones is, or who your right guard is and left guard is next year? Which of those things is more important to you?
Who's going to be your left tackle?
Right.
Who's going to be left guard?
Who they still have right now? They have 3 question marks because Ronnie Stanley's a free agent.
We had the same 3 question marks at O-line that we did at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Left tackle,
granted,
left guard, right guard.
I only have 2 questions because Dan Fowler, a Pro Bowler, y'all just hating. But
well, actually, the question mark at the beginning. The question mark at the beginning of the year was right tackle. Yeah, it was right tackle, but we have a question mark at left tackle because we don't know if we're bringing back Ronnie Stanley. But our guards, we still need 2 guards. Right? That is way more important than getting a D lineman. Way more important than getting an edge rusher. Okay, like I know you're watching this. You're saying, "Look what."
So you said he'll trademark Andrews for a decent guard in no time. I bet you would. I'll tell you who wouldn't. Anybody who has a decent guard.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. Like our players don't have that much value. That's why I asked you guys, like, who's a player on this Ravens team? I know you guys are gonna say, but you're wrong. Who is a player on the Ravens offense Ravens offense that you would trade a first round pick for? Mine is O-line. Like, yes, you can get a first round pick for Linderbaum, right?
Yeah, it's Lamar and no one else.
Right. Most people will say Derrick Henry. You would not get a first round pick or a second round pick for Derrick Henry. He's too old.
And I don't think that most teams would trade a first round pick for Linderbaum. I don't think.
I think they would.
I don't think so because teams don't value centers that way. That's why they don't get drafted in the first round very often. Teams think we can just draft a guard and move him over. You're not going to get a first round pick for anybody on the Ravens offense. Zay, like the people are saying in the thing, Zay is probably closest because of his age, but you're still not going to get a first round pick for him either. I don't think.
Ravenville said our right tackle. I don't think so. Too early. He hasn't quite established himself.
If another year, yeah, but I don't think so after his rookie season.
But I said minus O-line, so You can't use him. All right, we got Ferris in the house, who is I know he's hurting more than the Chiefs fans right now. Okay, he is in pain. He is a diehard Giants fan. Okay, it would be the equivalent of us watching the Steelers win the Super Bowl right now. That's how he feels about the Eagles. Yet with Lamar Jackson, he corrected me. Yes, imagine Lamar Jackson left in free agency to the Steelers and destroyed somebody in the Super Bowl. That's how he feels right now because Saquon Barkley, who was in the running for MVP all year, became Offensive Player of the Year for the Eagles, and is hoisting up the Lombardi Trophy right now. Ferris Muthana, hello, my friend. How are you feeling?
Not good, my good man. I'm here to talk about the real issues. Okay, the real issue. What's up with that Hall of Fame?
What's the real
class?
issue?
What's the hell with the Hall of Fame class, man? Come on. What is that? Was there a game today? You said there was like it's called the Super Tingy. What is it? What the Super
Bowl?
the Super Plate?
Super Bowl.
Yeah, oh yeah, that whatever, man.
Hey, there's 150 people in here. I forgot to mention that, man. Salute to y'all. Hit that like button if you're new. Hit the subscribe button. Yeah, man. The Super Bowl's today.
No, Jose. It's not even if Lamar went to Pittsburgh. It's Lamar went to Pittsburgh, and you could have kept him. Yeah. But instead, you decided to give your money to Gus Edwards. Imagine paying Gus Edwards 100.
Deshaun says, I can draft a right guard from Georgia who will fall to the Ravens. Y'all acting like ain't nobody going to be in the late rounds for the Ravens. I already looked up all these offensive line. You don't have any idea where these guys are going. It is February. They haven't had the combine. They haven't had their pro days. They haven't met with teams. You don't know where they're going. That's first of all. Second of all, you don't have any idea how any of these guys are going to play, especially as rookies, because you can like a prospect and think they're going to be a good starting O-lineman in the NFL. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen year one, and they need people to start right now. So again, which is more important to you, having starters on your O-line or having a backup D lineman?
But wait. Okay, a couple things. Bring that back up for a second.
Well, okay, I scrolled away from it already.
I'm sorry. Not to pick on you, Deshaun, but why can't you say that about D-line? Right? Why aren't there going to be D-line later on in the draft? Why do you have to get those guys early on, especially a rotational guy? Second, how many years are you going to keep saying this to yourself? We can get a guard later. We can get an O-lineman later. How many years are you going to keep saying we can get somebody on the offense later on? We don't need to worry about that right now. Let's make defense priority. It doesn't work. Not for this organization. We have to do something different. We have to stack that side of the ball with actual talent that we know can play. We can't guess on that. These guys that just played in the Super Bowl know they have talent. We can't hope that we got it right. And we got a super chat here from Jay. Oh, there you go, my bad, B. Shout out to Jay the Six for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Says, I want Saquon to look right into the camera and say Giants.
I hear you from off the jump. Let go, and I still end with the ones.
Wow. You think what, Jay? Wow. You're funny, Jay. You're funny. Haha, Jay. You're a Panthers fan, Jay. The same organization that ruined Cam Newton.
What did you what did you think about the halftime show, Ferris?
That was wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah.
I like the artistry about it, where he kept dropping little crumbs, trying to tease it, and then he said, I like to do this song, but I heard they'll sue. It was kind of a shot to the lawsuit, and then imagine,
it is.
It was definitely a shot to the lawsuit. But imagine, having, the entire New Orleans Superdome yell A minor at you. It's pretty wild.
Right.
Pretty wild. And then him saying, say Drake, as he smiles and looks directly at the camera.
What's going on, Kim? I'm only here because I like your show, and you guys will make me feel better, even though I'm a little sick right now.
Well, Kim,
You know,
Kim,
Thank you for coming through, Kim.
you know what,
Appreciate it.
Kim?
Thank you, Kim.
You guys definitely ran through a problem. Just like a problem in the. I don't want to bring up past memories of the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, where you guys couldn't handle that defense line because of your mismatched offensive lineman due to the fact Mitch Schwartz was injured that year. That's why they had to reshuffle that year. Mitch Schwartz was their right tackle.
They had several guys injured that year.
Yeah. But this year, here's the thing: Joe Thuney, who's their best guard, probably their best offensive lineman, had to play left tackle the last 3 weeks, well, plus playoffs, which is 7 weeks, as the left tackle because Juwan Taylor got injured. So you have a guard playing left tackle against a defensive line that is, I'm going to say about 8 deep. About 8 deep. Oh, you think Josh Sweat's tired? No, he's not tired. Okay, let's bring on Nolan Smith. Oh, Nolan Smith, you're tired. Oh, let's bring on Milton Williams. Oh, and then Jordan Davis, and then Jalen Carter, and then Brandon Graham. They run 8 deep. This has been their philosophy for the past 7 years. They were, and then Milton Williams is gone after this year. They're going to replace Milton Williams. It's just like what they do with Bryce Huff. Bryce left, and they replaced him with Nolan Smith. They draft the replacements a year in advance because they know someone's leaving. Nolan Smith was the reason he fell in the draft. He broke his wrist. He didn't play his senior year. He fell to the second round, I believe. Same thing with Nakobe Dean. He hurt his neck. He fell to the second round. Keely Ringo, they found him in the 5th round because he fell. They drafted the entire Georgia defense. That's basically what they did. Everybody. And it's insane. And they found them later on because they fell due to injury concerns. And because they're like, we don't care. We can keep them healthy and they'll fit our system. And that's what happened. Yeah, man.
So, but and Kim, you feel bad right now, right? Because it never feels good to lose in the Super Bowl. But damn, man, y'all stay in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't feel that bad. You'll be back soon, okay?
Yeah, and you've already got 3.
You've already got 3. Like people aren't laughing at the Chiefs. They're just they're breathing a sigh of relief. Right? So Shaheen says, why is nobody mentioning how much Cooper DeJean is better than Nate Wiggins? I don't know if he's that much better than Nate Wiggins. He's definitely on a better team with better coaching.
And he's also not their starting corner. Nate Wiggins, yes, is he your starting corner?
He's a starter,
yeah. Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean is not. He's behind Darius Slayton and the other rookie, Quinyon Mitchell, who they drafted first. Then they drafted Cooper. That's their 2 starting corners. Cooper is cornerback 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got 3 rings in like 6 years. Yeah, and
you're fine.
That's what they play for. They play. Yeah, they play for Super Bowls. They didn't win this one, but their window is going to be open for a long time. Oh, yeah. We we were upstairs watching the Super Bowl. We had our own Super Bowl party. Me and the kids. That was a lot of fun. Ordered some pizza.
Wonderful.
Speaking of, shout out to Domino's around my way over in Freetown. Man, they're the real MVPs, man. They were putting in some work tonight. I feel bad for them. Okay. I went to the store to pick up the pizza because delivery is just too expensive now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered a pizza. I ordered 2 things of pasta. Ordered lava cakes.
Oven baked sandwich, Jose. I'm a big fan of the oven baked sandwich.
No sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
I did lava cakes and brownies, right? And I had a coupon for the pizza, so everything came up to $27 if I pick it up. If I pick it up. If I had it delivered, okay, $6 delivery fee, not including tip.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so if I wanted to give at least 20%, that's at least another $6. That'd have been an extra $12. I'd have been paying close to $40. So I was like, yeah, let me go drive over there since it's literally around the corner. I drove over there to pick it up. A lot of people were there to pick up their pizza, and it was just a long line in there. Right? They're like, hey, there's a delay. People were mad because they missed the Super Bowl, and I just listened to it on my phone. But
I don't know how you can be mad that you missed this game. This game was
Well,
boring.
it was early on before people knew it was going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
But anyway, had a lot of fun. The kids had fun. They're hanging around to watch the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. They enjoyed that. No, they actually stayed and watched the whole game. We had fun. We had fun. I was surprised.
I thought it was gonna be like I went to a college football game once between Cal and Grambling State, where everyone filled. Stadium was filled, man. It was filled to the brim. Grambling played the halftime show, then half the stadium left because the game was over because Cal was up by like 40. I thought this was gonna go. It was gonna be game's over.
That's because that was Cal and Grambling State, and this is the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
I expected this from you, AD. AD is a recovering. He's a recovering Drake fan. Okay, I expected this. All right, Drake fans are never going to admit that. Look, it wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't like the best thing you ever seen, but it was good.
Yeah,
it was a good show. It was entertaining.
No, also too, man. The Eagles.
TJ, those are bannable words. Just calm it down.
What?
Halftime show should never include stupid rap music.
Garbage. Wow. All right.
TJ, I was just about to say, there are certain types of people out there that that I knew weren't going to appreciate that halftime show, and I feel like you're in that group. Yeah.
Nah, man.
TJ, and I hate to break it to you, this may not be the show for you either.
Definitely not the show for you,
what are you gonna say, Ferris?
Oh no, I just think the Chiefs are gonna be back. They're gonna like what they do with the Tampa Bay Super Bowl. They saw a problem, their interior offensive line and their tackles, and they fixed it. They took Joe Thuney from New England. They gave him all the money because he was the best guard on the market. They drafted Trey Smith in the 6th round, and then they drafted Creed Humphrey in the 3rd round. They'll find a tackle in the draft or a tackle on free agency, or because they traded for Orlando Brown.
Thank you, TJ.
They traded for Orlando Brown in Baltimore. They kept Orlando Brown for a couple of years, and then they didn't re-sign Orlando Brown, and he went to Cincinnati. They'll fix it. They'll be back.
They drafted a left tackle last year. I'm sure they're hoping that works out better in year 2 than it did in year 1. But yeah, they'll hit free agency in the draft because they see their needs and they address their needs. They also, they'll maybe bring back Hollywood. We'll see on that. But they'll have Xavier Worthy in year 2. They'll have Rashee Rice back. The Chiefs are going to put in the work this offseason to get better.
You tell me they drafted a center in the 2nd round? Hendo, is that what you're telling me right now? What?
Yeah,
a center in the 2nd round? What? Okay. All right. One of the middle rounds. Who cares? 2nd, 3rd, whatever, man. Semantics.
This is what I'm afraid of, Tony. He says that they're going to get Ronnie Stanley. They love taking from the Ravens. This is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that the Ravens, the Ravens, like to ball on a budget. They think they've mastered this formula where they don't have to overpay for anybody, and right player, right price. They always say that, and they let talent walk out the door constantly, or they just don't pick up on talent that they have the opportunity to get. And somebody like the Chiefs says, "Oh yeah, we'll pay you." Right?
Ali wants to know what the Panthers will do. They are going to continue doing what the Ravens should have been doing last year. When they went out and signed Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis, that was kind of trying to solidify their O-line. They've already got right tackle locked down. We're still kind of it's still wait and see a little bit with Ekwonu. I think he'll be fine. They're going to go out, they're going to get a center, and they're going to hit the defensive line hard in free agency and the draft. That number 8 pick might go to wide receiver, kind of just depending on how the picks fall there. If Abdul Carter is gone, it may end up being McMillan out of Arizona. But later on, you can be sure that they're going to draft edge rushers as well. They'll get somebody to put next to D tackle, and they will also be working on the O-line. Hey, and what's really funny, Ali? Because I know that you're just a troll. I gave you a serious answer. And you're like, and they still lost all those games, and they still ended up exactly where Baltimore is.
On the couch watching the Super Bowl.
Except nobody's talking about my quarterback and laughing at him like they are yours.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I would have gladly given up Madubuike. I'd have gladly let Madubuike walk to sign Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt. Easily. Give me those two guards over Madubuike. Right.
Hey, man.
These are the type of moves that we have to start looking to make in the offseason. Right.
Shout out to Aaron Donald. Because if he didn't existed, those guards wouldn't be getting $20 million. That's all I got to say.
Well. Yeah.
Panthers drafted a tight end last year, Deshaun. They drafted Jatavian Sanders. I know they could go that route again, but I think Jatavian can play. I think they just need to give him a little bit of time. They have to hit wide receiver. They've got to continue to shore up the O-line and get depth there, and then they really got to work on defense.
Yeah, I think the problem with Jatavian Sanders is he was tight end 2 in the class with Brock Bowers. So they saw what Brock Bowers did in Vegas. They're like, why wasn't he like this? That's because even though he was 2, Brock was like the 3rd best player in the draft. Like, you know, like just because he's a tight end, he fell. You know what I mean? So don't use him as an expectation for your tight end, because it takes a minute for tight ends to settle in the NFL. Expect him to be good in year 2. You know what I mean? So just wait a minute and calm it down. He's solid. The kid out of Texas. I like him.
Press start 410 says Madubuike is definitely no Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, was that who the Ravens wanted to get that year? He came out the same year.
Jordan Travis.
Oh,
and then he went one pick before Baltimore.
Hey,
Jalen Carter is the guy that he dropped to 9. He was the top player in the class, but he had some off-field issues. He dropped to Philly at 9.
Right.
Wait. Jordan Travis, isn't that the quarterback out of Florida State?
It's not Jordan Travis. It's Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. Okay, Davis. No, I was very confused.
Now I'm thinking.
The D tackle
out of Georgia.
Whatever. Yeah.
Jordan Davis. Jordan Travis was the quarterback at Florida State who broke his leg. Yeah. Jordan. I was very confused. Yeah. No. Here's the thing too about Jalen Carter, bro. He was the number 1 overall pick. That's what he was. How does this man fall to 9? I'm just, man.
Like I said, there were off-field things, and then he plays D tackle, and teams don't value. Like, look, we do this every single year in the NFL draft. Like, people talk about, oh man, these quarterbacks ain't good. They're not going to go at the top, and oh, look at this defensive player, look at this other guy, blah blah blah. And then come draft time, teams trade up and they take the quarterbacks because it's the most important position in football. True. They're already talking about 3 quarterbacks going in the top 10.
Yeah. So, the season is officially over. The offseason begins. All right.
Thank God.
And we got look to see what our teams are gonna do.
This is Ferris in my time. Okay, I know Baltimore. They real focused on like January and whatnot, but this is where the Panthers and the Giants thrive.
So
thrive is a stretch, my guy.
No, it's not, because we always look great in the offseason. All right.
Yeah, we don't.
So I have a question. How far back are the Giants going to trade so they don't have to draft one of these black quarterbacks?
I told them already. It's just going to be Jackson Dart.
Yeah, they're gonna trade back to 10, and they're gonna draft Jackson Dart because Eli Manning likes him.
They're not even gonna trade back. They're gonna sit right where they are because he's the fast riser.
Yeah.
It sounds like a joke. I'm not joking. I do not see this, or it's the same owners. It's the same owners. I don't see this organization drafting a black quarterback.
I don't know. I don't. Literally, man. For all the good PR they get over the years, how like, oh, they're they treat people like family. They love they love their players, and most of their star players. Yeah, and all that crap. And it's shocking that they've never hired a black quarterback, a black head coach ever. Mm-hmm. They didn't even say let's try one. They literally said never.
Yeah.
And then literally I can tell you the 2 black quarterbacks that have started for the New York Giants. I can tell you the 2. It's Geno Smith and Tyrod Taylor. It's Geno Smith and Tyrod Taylor.
Osman wants to know, well, what is the second most important position in the NFL behind
offensive line, man? It's not a
position. It's not a position.
Okay, left tackle.
Which one? Which offensive line?
Left tackle, I guess.
Yeah, I have to say it's left tackle, followed by edge rusher, and then corner, because it's quarterback is most important, and then, well, not even corner, wide receiver and corner. It's the quarterback and then everything that affects the quarterback.
So yeah, so defensive
Yeah,
line.
it's left or right tackle, depending on which hand your quarterback is. If your quarterback's left-handed, right tackle. If he's right-handed, then
Tua.
left tackle.
Yeah.
I don't even think edge is next.
I think it is edge because, well, now I think it's probably it's really a defensive tackle that's Aaron Donald, really the second most important because
there aren't any defensive tackles like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
if you guys go back, was it last overtime show or the one before that where we did our fantasy draft, our all-time fantasy draft?
Wait, when was this?
Oh yeah, you missed it, Ferris. We did an all-time fantasy draft.
Couple OTs ago, Ferris, like you said.
You will see my team, which is the greatest team ever constructed.
That's not true.
I went.
Let's do it again.
I went heavy on offensive line early. So after left tackle,
I missed that.
Then you want to get your right tackle, and then you want to get your center.
Always the center.
And get at least one guard early on. Okay, you can wait on that second guard. Later on in the draft. Okay, you can get a decent one. But if you have walls at left, good bookend tackles and a great center, you're going to protect your quarterback and that running back. A lot of good things are going to happen for the rest of your offense. So offensive line is the most important thing outside of quarterback to build. Start with your left tackle.
Because most quarterbacks are right-handed.
Yeah. This is wrong. First, not you, Hendo. Okay, you showed up late to the draft. That shows how much you cared about your team. Jose has the best blocking, no scoring team ever. I had Patrick Mahomes. I had Orlando Pace. I had Larry Allen.
Oh, whoa.
Larry, yeah. Larry Allen.
Oh God.
Who's my center? B? Was it Kelsey?
I think you took Jason Kelsey. Yeah,
Jason Kelsey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now listen to my team first.
My running backs were my running back was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh snap!
My tight end. Did I get a tight end? No, I didn't get a tight end. Did I?
Yeah.
I went wide receiver. I went Marvin Harrison, and who was the other wide receiver?
I don't remember.
Torrey Holt. Oh, T.O.
It was T.O.
Oh, okay.
T.O. But we can't score. We can't score with that.
Now my team, I didn't go offense really. I got Cam Newton.
We got to do this, man.
I think it was Jonathan Ogden as my left tackle, and then I got Calvin Johnson, right? Because I know I was gonna come back and fill in the O-line later because I know that Cam can survive, but he's got the best wide receiver ever. You've got one of the best left tackles ever, and so that's the foundation of my offense. My defense.
Brodny, before I let you do, so the Ravens fans allowed the Panthers fan to take Jonathan Ogden?
Yeah, I wasn't going to take him. I was going to take Orlando Pace, but Jose took Orlando Pace, so I had to take Jonathan Ogden.
No loyalty, Jose. Zero loyalty to Jonathan Ogden.
But then I ended up, so my defense,
zero.
Aaron Donald.
Okay. Oh, yep.
Aaron Donald, Julius Peppers.
Oh, that's a problem.
Reggie White.
That's definitely a problem.
Luke Kuechly.
That's all on the major problem.
Deion Sanders and Darrell Green.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I have here. B had Cam Newton, Jonathan Ogden, Joe Thomas, Calvin Johnson.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Aaron Donald, Reggie White, Julius Peppers, Luke Kuechly, Deion Sanders, Darrell Green. That's what you had.
You know what's funny? You know what's crazy? When your worst player is Darrell Green, that says something about your defense, man. Oh my God.
Nobody's scoring on me.
Yeah,
I had Pat Mahomes, LaDainian Tomlinson, Orlando Pace, Marshall Yonda, Jason Kelsey, Larry Allen, T.O., Marvin Harrison, and I had Gronkowski as my tight end.
And it's a good thing that you picked all those O-line because we see what happens when somebody breathes on Pat.
And then, right. But guess what? They ain't going to breathe on him. And I got one defensive player. I got Charles Woodson.
Reggie and Julius and Aaron will be.
Wait, you only had one?
Hendo.
You only had one Charles? One
we didn't go
player?
We didn't go through
10 rounds. We did 10 rounds.
Hendo, who came late and decided to get the most statue of quarterbacks. He got Tom Brady and didn't draft O-line. He got Barry Sanders, Walter. Oh, he did. He got Walter Jones.
Oh, Walter Jones. That's good.
Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald, Tony Gonzalez, and then he went J.J. Watt, Bruce Smith, Ed Reed, Rod Woodson.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We got safeties on lock.
And then Adrian picked Jimmy Johnson as his head coach, and he was disqualified immediately. So.
Oh, what?
He got Lamar Jackson, and Jimmy Johnson's going to turn him into a wide receiver. Jim Brown, Anthony Munoz, Andrew Whitworth, Jerry Rice, Travis Kelce, Ray Lewis, Lawrence Taylor, Darrell Revis, and Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
I think we are going to do it again, Ferris. I think that
LT?
I had the best. I think I had the best. Adrian had LT, and I told him
Josh Gordon.
I told him he picked Lawrence Taylor, and I'm like, cool. Your number 2 pick is suspended for the year. For Coke. Right? And then he took Ronnie Lott.
They didn't drug test for Coke back in the 80s.
And then he took Ronnie Lott, and I'm like, cool. Your number 5 pick is suspended for the year for unnecessary roughness.
And he's missing a finger. He only has 9. So that's crazy.
All right, back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Back to the Super Bowl.
That game
is not super relatable content right now.
Yeah.
No. Congratulations to the Eagles, man. Look, I asked a question earlier. You know, do you guys think this is the last Super Bowl Pat Mahomes is going to be in? And that was laughable. Of course not. You think he's going to be back? Do you think this is the last Super Bowl that the Eagles, led by Hurts and Saquon Barkley?
No,
that's a tough one because like you said, the Lions come back healthy. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I honestly think the Lions, when healthy, are the most talented team in the league. Philly's a close second, very close second, but you got them, and then I mean,
I think the Lions
they're just going to be playing for second to Bryce, honestly, for the foreseeable.
Damn right.
No, this team is very very capable of getting back to the Super Bowl, especially with Howie Roseman as the GM.
Yeah,
I wouldn't count them out at all.
No, because here's the thing. Here's what they do is, even when they're bad, like they're bad for like a year or two, and the team and the fans kind of get it, and then they come back up. You know what I mean?
Wow.
He has 5 3/4 fingers.
Y'all are some degenerates.
So Howie, I remember the year they got Jalen Hurts that year. They were like 5-12, and they were a bad team. But then like a year later, they're in the playoffs. They have a down year maybe, but then they'll just come back up and they'll rebuild the team because Howie Roseman knows how to build a team. And I think the Lions are going to run into a problem this year because I think this was the year. This was the year because Ben Johnson's gone. Aaron Glenn's gone.
Coordinators,
yeah. And then, but here's the thing too. They're not just gone; they've taken people as well. So so Dan Campbell can't elevate their replacements because they've taken the replacements. Like JT Barrett is going to become the QB coach in Chicago with Ben Johnson. Aaron Glenn is taking Antoine Randall L, or is Ben Johnson taking Antoine Randall L? I
can't remember now.
I don't know, but Antoine Randall L's gone, so they need a new wide receivers coach. They need a new QB coach because JT Barrett's gone. Does Mark Brunell become the offensive coordinator next year? Because he was the main QB coach, and then JT Barrett was his assistant. So how's this coaching staff going to look like? Kelvin Shepard what's Kelvin Shepard going to do? Is he going to be the new DC?
But there's multiple teams in the NFC that they have to worry about. You also got Minnesota waiting to see what they do at quarterback. If JJ McCarthy is really that guy, then they're going to be very good for a while. You got Green Bay already who has their quarterback, and it's just kind of trying to figure out who's going to be like the number one guy on that offense because they have a plethora of receivers. It'll be tough. Dallas is going to be back with a healthy Dak. Washington obviously is on the rise with Jaden. So it's going to be tough, but they have the best GM in football, and they're already one of the most talented teams there. So they've got a great shot at getting back.
Because I have a question: who here knew who Milton Williams was?
Before today,
yeah. Before today, did anyone know who Milton Williams was?
Yeah.
Before this year.
Not before this year.
Exactly. So before this year, did you know he's been on the team since 2021?
I did not. I just said I didn't know who he was before this year.
Exactly. I know. How you got to know the team you hate the most, so you know how to talk smack about them. I know a lot about the Eagles because I have to, and the Cowboys because I have to, and I know their backups as well. I didn't know who the hell Milton Williams was. I was like, who is this dude? So I looked him up. I thought he was like a rookie. They just drafted. He's been with them since 2021. They found a random defensive tackle out of Louisiana Tech. And now he's about to make so much money on free agency because they're not going to re-sign him. Because they're like,
he's going to Carolina.
That's what real development looks like, though. And that's what having a real system looks like. That's what having a real GM that can draft for your team looks like. Right? This is why we're so critical.
Adrian saying that. Yeah, Adrian says Hurts is a second round pick. Russell's a third rounder. QB doesn't have to be a high draft pick if you build a good team around them. Yeah, okay, but here's the thing: there aren't good quarterbacks in every draft. You can't depend on a guy falling to the second or third round to be your franchise quarterback. And it is unbelievably difficult to build a team like the Philadelphia Eagles. You can't. That's why you get the quarterback and you build around them. It's much easier to have that guy and then fill in the talent around him, as opposed to trying to maintain all of those other positions. It's extremely difficult
because you're gonna end up having to let those guys go.
Yeah, and also, teams got lucky, right? They, those quarterbacks were devalued a little bit. If you're doing a redraft, they're definitely not going in the second or third round, right? There are some quarterbacks you're like, yeah, he's a second round quarterback, he's a third round quarterback, he's solid, but he's not, he's not great. But Hurts is a top 10 quarterback. Russell Wilson was a top 5 quarterback. At his peak.
Dak Prescott, fourth round.
Dak Prescott and Dak Prescott, he was somebody. He went to the fourth round because he got a DUI right before the draft. Yeah, right. That's what pushed him down. Like he wasn't going to be a first round pick, but he was good enough to be a first round pick. But he probably would have went to the second, but that DUI pushed him down the draft board. They got lucky. Okay, that's called getting lucky. And look, let's just be real, man. Black quarterbacks get devalued more than other positions.
Well, and also, because you're naming guys who won Super Bowls. Russ was short and he dropped. Drew Brees was short and he dropped to the top of the second round. So there was a guy in the 6th round who won 7 Super Bowls. Like, you can't depend on that. Most quarterbacks are going to be taken at the top of the draft.
Yeah, because with Dak Prescott, he wasn't gonna start that year. No. He wasn't it was Tony Romo's team. He wasn't gonna start. He was.
They broke his back.
Yeah, and then the Seahawks broke him in half, and Dak was fighting for QB3, and then he won the QB3 spot, and then he beat. Well, I don't
Kellen
know,
Moore. Wasn't Kellen Moore?
He beat Kellen Moore for the backup job.
Yeah.
So he beat Kellen Moore for the backup job, and then he wasn't going to play, and then Seattle snaps Tony Romo in half.
Completely unnecessary. Why are you jumping on this back? You gonna jump on this back in a preseason game? Come on, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It was crazy to me. I'm like, what is going on right now? They just killed Tony Romo, and then he goes 13-3.
Yeah.
And then as the Dallas Cowboys QBs go, they lose to Aaron Rodgers at home.
But the point is, yes, and Adrian does have a point. Like you build talent on your team, right? But you have to build talent on your team. Like we always make excuses for why the Ravens don't do certain things and why they don't get certain positions because you don't need that. Look at this team; they did it without it. Yeah, but look what the other team has. Look like the other pieces that they have. The Ravens don't do anything great right now, right? They just lean on Lamar's talent, and they're not really trying to get any other special talent there because the excuse is always, oh well, we can draft and develop that guy, or we don't need that. Look at this team; they got there without that. Yeah, but the other team had other factors, that played into their success.
They have Patrick Mahomes. Or Tom Brady.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, but those guys, they had other special talent on the team. And the Ravens aren't trying to do that for Lamar. And no, man, I just don't feel like they care as much about winning as they lead y'all to believe. Like they want to win their way, but they're more worried about doing things their way than actually winning.
Because Lamar covers a lot of their warts. Yeah. But you can't. But the warts will show when you're against the quarterback, same level or just as good as Lamar. because you'll expose it. Like Patrick Mahomes does it all the time against you guys in the playoffs. He exposes the warts, and then could Lamar play a little bit better? Probably, but
not all the time.
Not all the time.
They've played him once in the playoffs. He does it to Josh Allen all the time in the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, he does it to Josh. Okay, wait, they've only played the Chiefs once
in the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs. Yeah.
Wow.
Every other game is a regular season game. Josh Allen, on the other hand, has played them 4 times in the playoffs, and is 0-4.
Damn.
Yeah.
The most that any quarterback has lost to another quarterback.
I'm sorry for him. Yeah, but here's the thing too, like with Tom Brady, let's use him like his receiving core post Randy Moss. Well, we wouldn't say they were the greatest receiving core, but he had Gronkowski, basically was his number 1 wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like with Lamar Jackson, he ain't got nobody receiving the ball. He has good players, but like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got the receivers. The year they made the playoffs, they got the receivers. They had all the receivers. They had no offensive line.
Yeah.
0. And their defense was a little suspect here and there. You know what I mean? But they had no offensive line. And it caught up to them in the Super Bowl when you had Aaron Donald hunting you down. You know what I mean? And shout out to also what's his face? Leonard Floyd. They made Leonard Floyd look good. You know what I mean? So no offense to Leonard Floyd. But like Lamar, give him a Jamar Chase. Give him one. And we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? So
but the Ravens fans are conditioned to not expect that and not even want that. Because when we talk about trading for Tyreek Hill, right? It's no. We don't need that here. We don't need Tyreek Hill here. He's a diva. He'll cry for the ball. Like he'll be a distraction, right?
Like every anytime number 1 wide receiver in NFL history.
That's my point. And immediately their mind goes to, well, we can get a Tyreek Hill light. We can get we can bring Hollywood Brown back. They'll say something like that.
The Ravens fans are, because people argued with us that they didn't need Derrick Henry. Now they love Derrick Henry, right? But it's like, you remember the year that Adrian Peterson tore his ACL, and he didn't play. Obviously the following season, and the Vikings replaced his production, just about all of it. They replaced just about all his yards, just about all his touchdowns with Matt Asiata and Jerick McKinnon. And Ravens fans are that group that will say, we can just get Matt Asiata and Jerick McKinnon. We don't need Adrian Peterson. But you can look at it and say, you can look at it and say, hey, yeah, the numbers are the same, but the impact isn't the same. And they didn't believe it at running back until they went out and got Derrick Henry. But for some reason, you still can't transfer that knowledge over to the wide receiver position.
Yeah,
but they already did that with Lamar Jackson. Remember Latavius Murray and Kenyon Drake?
Yeah, but look, I don't want this to sound like bad, but like your running backs before those guys weren't very good anyway. Like they were all right.
Whoa! Don't disrespect Justin Forsett. All right.
Yeah. So your running backs before that weren't. They weren't.
All right. That's Calvin right there.
No. But,
so I can understand it, but
I mean, but because they were running the ball well with those guys, they didn't feel like a Derrick Henry was worth trading a second round pick for, because that was the argument, right? Mm-hmm. By trade deadline, it looked like we're going to have something worked out, and the Titans owner, canceled the deal, right? And you and I were like, you got to get him on the phone and tell him, hey, whatever it takes to get the deal done, let's make it happen. If you want a second round pick, just say second round pick and we'll give you a second round pick. Josh, what's his name? Josh Jacobs, that plays for the Packers now. They were looking for a second round pick for him as well. And we were like, give it to him, right? We need a difference maker there. Oh, he's not worth a second round pick. Really? Josh Jacobs had a really good year as well. You know, not Saquon and Derrick Henry type of a year, but a really good
But
year.
he had a great season.
You have to pay for talent, right? You have to pay for it. Historically, under both EDC and Ozzy, we don't do well in the second round. This year we got starting right tackle. That's great. We shouldn't have had to hope and pray that we got one in the second round. We should have had that figured out. But
shout out to Roger.
In the future, if we can get a talented player for a second round pick, you give that up, no question. You don't go into the draft and get somebody and hope that person works out. You don't know what you're going to get, right? I'm not sure how many picks we have in this draft coming up. 10, 11 picks. History will tell you 2 or 3 of them are going to work out.
And 3 of them aren't going to make the team.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. And one of them isn't going to ever play.
And I would not trade for Mike Evans. It's too late.
It's too late. Yeah, he's too old. Exactly. See, Mike Evans wasted away. Jameis Winston was given Mike Evans. They gave Jameis Winston Mike Evans, but you can't give Lamar Jackson a star wide receiver. No, because here's the thing too, right? Here's the thing too, like the QBs we're gonna compare Lamar Jackson to, right? Patrick Mahomes had a star wide receiver when he first got there. It was Tyreek Hill. And then it was paired with a star tight end. Now that tight end has kind of fallen off a cliff. No offense, Travis, I still like you, but you kind of fell off a cliff. Josh Allen, they gave him Stephon Diggs. All right? Tom Brady had Randy Moss, and then they replaced him with Gronkowski. Peyton Manning, they went from Marvin Harrison to Reggie Wayne. Mm-hmm. Eli Manning was given Plaxico Burress, then Victor Cruz, then
not
Odell
Marvin
Beckham.
Harrison to Reggie Wayne. Like he had them both.
Yeah, you're right. At the same time, but I'm talking about because they were kind of old. He was kind of older than Reggie.
Yeah.
So they kind of when Marvin retired, Reggie continued. But Eli Manning,
Dallas Clark.
Yeah, and then Dallas Clark, and
from Marshall Faulk to Edgerrin James.
Yeah, and then you went to Joseph Adai.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Joseph Adai. He was Super Bowl champion Joseph Adai. But then Eli Manning, he went from Plaxico Burress. Well, Amani Toomer to Plax, to Victor Cruz, to Odell Beckham Jr. Well, Lamar Jackson had to go from Willie Snead
to Des Bryant
to to Marquise Brown, to Rashard Bateman, now to Zay Flowers. Any of the people I just named on any of the levels of the QBs who had current.
His first wide receiver was John Brown. And Michael Crabtree.
So
that's what he started out with.
Exactly.
And then he moved to Hollywood. Hollywood and what's the other guy's name? Boykin as rookies with Willie Snead.
Exactly.
And then Willie Snead didn't come back, and they're like, we got Des Bryant here.
Yeah, and then he tore his Achilles or something. Yeah. But then here's the thing: now his compatriots, Cincinnati, decided to give Joe Burrow all the weapons. They're like, forget the offensive line, we'll give you all the weapons.
Seth Roberts. What I mean?
Exactly. Like everyone knew Cincinnati was drafting Jamar Chase at 5, even though people told them no, draft the tackle because it would be better for you in the long run. But they're like, no. We don't care. We're drafting Jamar because our QB wants his friend. He wants his friend. And they did that. Yeah. So he had Jamar, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd with Joe Mixon. CJ Uzama was for 2 years. But Lamar Jackson can't get one of them. He's not allowed to have one of them. Why? Nope. Because if he has one of them, it diminishes his career. I just told you all the great QBs. Dan Marino had three receivers. Who had over, Mark Clayton, the other Clayton guy. I don't know. I don't remember the
Mark Duper and Irving Fryar.
Yeah, Mark Duper, Irving Fryar. I should have known that. Terry Bradshaw had Lynn Swann and John Stallworth.
Yeah, look, every great quarterback has great wide receivers. Baltimore just doesn't believe in getting great wide receivers. They don't believe in paying for great wide receivers.
I don't understand that, man.
So it is what it is.
Washington had the funky bunch.
They don't believe in paying for anybody. That's the great con that they are running here is that they'll tell you, oh well they don't they'll put money in positions that they value, right? And it look like they'll give certain players a lot of money, but they won't give they'll give them competitive salary. They're not going to like reset the market for anybody. And even those players, it's rare that you see those players get that type of money. When you get somebody like Derrick Henry here, it's on a deal, and we get him in his last couple of good years if we're lucky. They just don't want to pay anybody, right? Like they pay the positions that are lower valued a lot of money, like tight end, like middle linebacker, and it looks like, hey, see, we paid these guys. Well, those guys are the cheapest guys to pay. Safety, right? They're the cheapest ones to pay, and they're the lowest impacting players a lot of times.
That's why they're the cheapest players to pay.
Yeah.
For a reason.
So that's why our defense looks different than the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
Right?
Because like
the Chiefs defense.
No offense to Kyle Hamilton. I'm a big fan of Kyle Hamilton. But let's say it's time to pay Kyle Hamilton. If you were the good GM, he plays safety. If you were a good GM, you probably let him walk and you replace him in the draft because a good safety you can find in the draft or it's slightly cheaper on free agency. But you got to be a good GM to do that, unlike the GM in New York who let Xavier McKinney walk and didn't replace him. You know what I mean?
Kyle Hamilton, because of what he does for this team, he does a little bit more than just the traditional safety role.
Okay, all right.
I can see
in the regular
him
season.
in a regular season. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Man, if Adrian, if you're giving Kyle 150, then you've lost your goddamn mind.
Kyle will get $150 million over how many years?
10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, no, you're probably going to pay Kyle, Thad. But if you don't pay him, let's say you made a decision not to pay the guy. He plays a position that's, let's not say easily replaceable, but you can replace it. You can create him in aggregate, like the Oakland A's did in Moneyball.
What Ferris is trying to say is a competent GM like Howie Roseman would build a
we already have his replacement.
He would build a team where we wouldn't be sitting here saying we need Kyle Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
we would have a team where Kyle Hamilton could get paid. He may not get paid, but the defense is gonna be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Here's the thing: what happened? Hassan Reddick was their best defensive lineman for like 4 years. They got rid of him, and they're like, we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, I see. I was saying Kyle won't be easy to replace. He's not going to be easy to replace for Eric DaCosta. For a competent GM, he would be easy to replace because the safety is not a difference-making position. Just like middle linebacker is not a difference-making position. You got rid of Roquan and Kyle, and you traded them for Max Crosby and a good starting corner. You're a better team. Right, but they're putting their focus and their resources into positions where you're not getting the return on the investment. That's
Here's the thing too, DDSQ. Thank you for pointing that out. The Eagles starting linebackers were Nakobe Dean and Zach Braun. Nakobe Dean was a rookie linebacker they got, and Zach Braun, Bond was bad in New Orleans. That's how they were talking about this year. They're like, oh, Zach Bond has reinvigorated his career. He was
an edge rusher, and then Howie Roseman got him. He's like, no, you're gonna play middle linebacker, and now he's an All-Pro.
Exactly. So they basically imagine if you're Zach and the entire year people talking about how you sucked in New Orleans and now you're good. A random defensive end. They made him the middle linebacker. Their safeties, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They got rid of him.
But and
then they brought him back.
Shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming through. It says y'all don't value linebackers and safeties until they are problems. But see, this is what we're trying to get you guys to understand, right? Linebackers and safeties, like, what do you mean by a problem? Like, what's a problem?
Well, I'll tell you what he means by problem. What? How about you drafted one in the top 15 and you paid another one $70 million and you were the worst pass defense in the NFL? They were already a problem.
Well, no, that's why I want him to answer, because Nobody said there are problems. They didn't do anything for us in the playoffs, but nobody said they're a problem. But we always want to go and draft those positions. But we don't say that about things that could really affect the game. Why don't we say that about the guard position? Why don't we say that about our offensive tackles? Why don't we say that about wide receivers? Those positions you guys don't value here, and you say, "Oh well, we can get that later." But when they don't show up in the playoffs, when that side doesn't show up, we talk about that, or we talk about Lamar not being able to get it done, even though he doesn't have the help.
So am I yelling?
Yes, we do remember LJ Fort and Josh Bynes and how they came in and stabilized the linebacking position. LJ Fort did for nothing.
He sure did.
And here's the thing, that we're not saying we don't value safety and linebacker. The NFL does not value those positions. That's why Pat Queen, who was coming off a great season, the best season of his career, and all the Ravens fans said, "Oh, gotta keep Pat, gotta keep those guys together." And he got what, $12 million?
Yep.
You know, it's funny you mentioned LJ Fort.
Doesn't value those positions.
It's funny you mentioned LJ Fort, because LJ Fort actually played well before we drafted Pat Queen, which is why me and B were saying, this is when we first started doing the podcast. Don't get Patrick Queen because we have LJ Fort, and I also said, because we drafted Malik Harrison that year too, that Malik Harrison won't get on the field because LJ Fort is here, and LJ Fort isn't going to give up his spot to Malik Harrison, which he didn't.
Yep. Y'all had to get rid of LJ Fort.
Yes.
To put Malik Harrison on the field, because LJ Fort was better than Malik Harrison. I remember these conversations we had, Jose. Like, you're like he's not getting on the field because LJ Fort's better than him. It's like what happened in Arizona, where they told Jordan Hicks, "You're not playing because the first round pick, you're better than him, but I need him to play because it makes me look bad as a GM that you're better than him." And they told Jordan Hicks, "You're not playing," and they had to start Xavion Collins. And guess what happened? Xavion Collins sucks. Then they went back to Jordan Hicks.
That's saying the middle of the field was getting cooked. What was happening to the middle of the field this year after you put all those resources into it?
It was getting cooked.
It was getting cooked. Those guys, Roquan made no difference.
None.
Again, you have Kyle Hamilton, right? You had Marcus Williams. You had Ardarius. You had the worst defense in the league for the majority of the season, the worst pass defense in the league. So what do you mean we don't value it until it's a problem? They addressed it. They put multiple picks into the position. They put a lot of money into those positions, and you still sucked. Yeah. You know why? Because you got a bunch of edge rushers that can't get to the quarterback.
And also, too, we're not saying get rid of Kyle Hamilton and Roquan. We're not saying that. We're saying if you had to, a competent GM would have a plan to replace them, like Howie Roseman, where he knew Hassan Reddick is gonna leave, and he drafted his replacement in Nolan Smith the year before. So then when Hassan left, they're like, we can let him leave because Nolan's right there. A GM would. That's how great GMs operate. I have plans like, oh, he's good here, but I don't want to pay him in a couple years. Let's draft his replacement and keep it moving.
Yeah, LJ Fort tore his ACL during that 2020 year. He played 7 or 8 games before he got hurt, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like he didn't lose his job to Malik Harrison, and Malik Harrison I don't even think got in the game after Fort went out.
Okay, hold on. He says we lost Pat Queen. You put a second-year linebacker with Roquan who had to pick up his slack. That's why Simpson was benched. Okay, and what did the NFL value Patrick Queen at? How did the NFL value Patrick Queen, Thad?
What did Patrick Queen do for his team?
That's what I'm asking. Like, you're saying, oh, we lost Pat Queen, like you lost a great player. What did the NFL value Patrick Queen at? And when he got there, was it an incredible value? Was it an incredible bargain for Pittsburgh? Or did he not really make any difference at all?
We're not saying get bums at these positions, right? If any position can be a game changer, even these positions that are less of value. I mean, we see it with Saquon Barkley, right? Running backs, they were devalued a little bit, but they can make a huge difference. A game record at linebacker can make a huge difference. Game record at safety can make a huge difference. Like those are just special players, right? The problem with the Ravens is they don't want to pay for a special player. They want to pay for a cheap position and hope that position can be a special player because that's what we had here historically. But Kyle Hamilton, as good as he is, very good player, is not Ed Reed. Roquan Smith, who is a good player, he's nowhere near Ray Lewis, and he's not Fred Warner right now. Fred Warner is a game changer.
Ain't none of us said Derrick Henry was a bad signing.
Nobody said Derrick Henry was a bad signing. What we said was go sign Saquon Barkley, who was the better running back and who just won a Super Bowl. And by the way, Pat Queen, when he hit free agency, got a $41 million total contract, which is $59 million less than you paid Roquan Smith. So if he was so good and such a value and he impacts the game so much, why was he getting less than half of the value of the linebacker that you already paid once he hit free agency, Thad? Why is that? And again, I still haven't heard you say what kind of value he brought on the field in Pittsburgh.
Well, time out. Because people love doing this revisionist history with us. I want you to go find the video where we said Derrick Henry was a bad signing. I'll save you some time. You won't find it.
Yeah, all y'all said was Saquon's better than him.
We said it was fine. We said it's a fine signing. We said that's fine. You still need to address the O-line. That's what we stressed the whole offseason. Mm-hmm. You still need to address the O-line, and we would have preferred that you sign Saquon Barkley because or Josh Jacobs, right? Now, he's played better than Josh Jacobs, but we preferred those two because they're younger, right? Mm-hmm. Every year that we have Derrick Henry on this team, we're going to wonder in the offseason, does he have enough left in the tank for another year?
Yeah, he's past 30, man.
Yes.
He's going to be 32 next year. And sometimes the decline of running back in the NFL, I've noticed it. When you stop being good at football, it's dramatic. Like you're done. Like you're bad. Yeah. And you just because you're slower, the NFL's faster, you can't process faster, you're just done.
You know how I know for a fact we definitely said we rather have gotten Saquon. There is a few of y'all trying to throw little shots, take little digs at us halfway through the season when it looked like Derrick Henry was going to lead the league in rushing, and they're like, "Oh, some people want a Saquon here." Ha 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 ha. Yeah, y'all forgot we played 17 games though.
Because and you also forget we were the ones saying go and make the trade for Derrick Henry happen the year before when you really needed him. And y'all were like, no, don't give him a second round. You can get him in the offseason.
Yeah, because now Saquon Barkley has the most rushing yards in a single season, period. Like, regular season and postseason, like, period. Like, period. So, like, Derrick Henry's on his couch watching the game, while Saquon Barkley's the reason the Eagles are in the game. You know, I know there was a big argument in the Discord talking about Jalen Hurts and the credit he should have been given. Somebody was like, he's playing a fine game. Some people were like, don't give him that much credit. The reason, you know, the Eagles beat the living snot out of them is that the Eagles, you could see the Chiefs' defense. They sold for the run. They were like, we're not letting 26 beat us at all. And it kind of didn't, but you left some little pockets. Dallas Goedert was running wide open. He was running wide open. You know what I mean? That's because of 26. Not because some magical Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni, you know, offensive play. Well, speaking of, Kellen Moore's not even that good of an offensive coordinator. You know, if you listen to Good Friends, Better Rivals, we make fun of Kellen Moore all the time. You know what I mean? But it's easy to make great plays when you're like, 26 is gonna draw them in and just let Dallas just do a little drag route right behind Nick Bolton. And that's what they were doing all night.
Who ended up getting the MVP?
I don't know.
Hurts. I think somebody said in the chat Hurts got it.
Hurts did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations to Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. We're gonna wrap up this stream pretty soon. It's already an hour and a half.
There's gonna be some uncomfortable conversations this week.
We're gonna have it's gonna be It's going to be an interesting conversation that we have on Wednesday. We have a video dropping probably Tuesday on Lamar Jackson being snubbed on his third MVP award. So be on the lookout for that. I have a few videos in mind that we're going to record that we're going to kind of discuss. We want to discuss some things. Another thing is I saw that video of Eric DaCosta trying to revise history himself, trying to put himself in the I drafted Lamar Jackson, it was my idea type of thing conversation, which is a lie. And I have some proof. Okay, there was another interview that came out before that where it was discussed that it was actually Bishotti that was pushing the whole trade back in the first round and get Lamar Jackson. He was high on Lamar. He really wanted to get Lamar Jackson, and he kind of made it known like y'all might want to go ahead and do that. Okay, so any other talk of EDC is the one or Harbaugh? I even heard Harbaugh at one point kind of give himself a little credit. It sounded like y'all don't get the credit. Okay, the boss said to draft them. That's why y'all drafted them, and Ozzie was the acting GM at the time. He was the GM, so that's who gets the credit. That's how it works.
No. And now I can see the odds for next year's Super Bowl tied at first: Kansas City and Baltimore.
Well, and he's
for winning next year's Super Bowl.
Also, too, Jose, let's not give Ozzie that much credit. He got lucky. Lucky.
Yeah, he absolutely got lucky.
Yeah,
he drafted a tight end first, a bust of a tight end first.
28-year-old tight end. I mean, I generally think Ozzie Newsome, when they told him Lamar's on the board, he probably was like, "Wait, what? trade back in, trade back in." Just because the NFL, like I'm going in that year, the quarterback hierarchy. If you actually watched college football, which a lot of people don't, you knew Lamar Jackson was better than Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen. You knew it. You knew that was a fact. And some people, I preferred him over Baker Mayfield because I watched the game of him and Deshaun Watson the year prior, where they dueled in Clemson, and he almost beats Lamar Jackson. He almost beats Deshaun Watson unless his wide receiver doesn't extend his route by like literally a yard. If he extends like it's a first down, but his wide receiver catches it an inch before the first down line, and you see Lamar Jackson after the game, and like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
And the wide receiver's like, "Oh, my bad, Lamar. I'm sorry." It's like, "Yeah, you're sorry, you idiot. What are you doing?" But racism, guys.
Yeah, but look, we got a lot to discuss, like I said. But put it out there, the Ravens and the Chiefs are tied to win the Super Bowl right now.
They're the odds to win the Super Bowl next year. Chiefs and Ravens are number one. Eagles, Lions, and give me 1 second, and the Bills are sharing third.
Okay, and that's going to depend a lot. That's going to move a lot this offseason, depending on what moves these.
It moved a lot tonight because the Eagles were fifth until they laid that whooping on Kansas City.
Are the Eagles up there?
I just said the Eagles, man.
Oh my bad. I didn't. I heard Chiefs, Baltimore.
Chiefs and Ravens are tied at first. Eagles, Lions, and Bills are tied for third. They're in that third position.
All right, that's nonsense.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're gonna end it here. Appreciate y'all coming through. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out, and if you're new here, hit that. What are you laughing at, B?
I'll tell you later.
All right. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. We do a live stream every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. My co-hosts here can't keep themselves together for 2 seconds while I sign off. All right, get it together.
I don't control the chat. I'm sorry.
We didn't do nothing.
You control what you read. You control your expressions.
I don't control what I read. I don't know what I'm going to read before I read it.
You don't have to read anything. Look at the screen while we sign off.
Sign off, Jose.
No, relax. Let me finish my sign off. All right. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. Okay, if you like this extra content, I know what they're reading to. Okay, I'm just showing some professionalism. In case you guys don't know, Ferris here is supposed to be the most professional of us all. He's actually trained. He's gone to school for broadcasting. You will see him on ESPN or FS1 or one of these places one day. You will see him there. Okay,
yeah, man, I better be on FS1. They ain't got no standards over there. They got a Manuacho on there, man. Come on.
Facts.
They gave Craig Carton a show. That man's a criminal.
They got Joy Taylor over there.
Facts.
Who do I got to talk to?
All right. We're getting out of here. All right. Tune in. Subscribe because we're going to have a video drop on Tuesday. And then be back here 7:15 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday for the LBHT show. All right. That's it. B, are you ready?
No. I'll be ready in a second.
B's not ready. Look, congratulations to the Eagles. All right. 2 times Super Bowl champs. And congratulations to the Chiefs. Look, it's a tough night. You don't want to lose that way after, playing as hard as you did all season. But
chin up because apparently you're still the best team in the league.
Right.
According to Vegas.
You're not that devastated. I think you'll be okay. Chiefs fans, this is just
you're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be okay.
You're gonna be okay.
You're gonna be all right.
If Kim is still here, Kim, it's gonna be all right. You still have Patrick Mahomes. You just need to get an offensive lineman and probably a new tight end. But you're
Listen, y'all. The Bills still haven't won a Super Bowl. I think when we talk about disappointing losses, because I was hurt after that loss. I was hurt the way we lost that game. But after the Bills loss, I was like, okay, they played a good game. It's tough. But listening to Bills Mafia talk about it, man, like they haven't won a Super Bowl, man.
Imagine going 4 in a row though.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Some of those Bills fans are still alive. Who witnessed that?
It wasn't in 1950. It was in the 90s.
Yeah, it was 90, 91, 92.
Maybe they're still alive. 93. They better be alive.
I'm just saying.
Like, you're so young.
It's still alive, man.
Like some people, did this, like, you got 3 recently. You're fine, okay? Chiefs fans, just remember that. Just remember that. Monday ain't gonna be that bad for y'all. That's all I'm saying.
Also, too, like in the way those Bills Super Bowls went. So,
no, we're done.
Kicker missed.
No,
Thurman Thomas forgot his helmet.
No.
And Cowboys.
All right, y'all.
Listen,
we are out of here. We'll see you next time. Peace.